Are twin flames real, or am I just delusional? I've asked myself this question so many times, and we're gonna unpack a lot of this today because there's so much to be said, and this is a very nuanced conversation and a very paradoxical conversation. And the topic of twin flames, I've been waiting to make this video for a while because as I've been on my own journey, it has given me a lot of, cosmic downloads and insights and revelations and things to decipher and look into for myself. And I've had to unpack that for myself. I've been excited to make this, but I haven't been ready until now to make this video. And how do we even begin this? Is there such a thing as a twin flame? Well, let's start there, right? Because we're asking a very nuanced question here. Because the thing with twin flames, as opposed to soulmates, is it's a very spiritual journey. And spirituality, see, a twin flame brings you to raise your consciousness, right? It's a reflection of you. And because it's a raising of consciousness and reality are both a paradox. So because it's a paradox, I could sit here and argue to you about how twin flames are real and how they're also not real. Right? And I'm going to do both of those things. So let's unpack how how it's not real, right? Like, because I feel like a lot of people on the twin flame journey, they're asking these kind of questions to themselves, like, am I just going crazy? Is this like, what is this? Or is this some kind of cult? Is this what am I feeling? How do I process this? Is this a bunch of nonsense? Is this even real? Am I kidding myself? Am I deluding myself? Well, this all ties into the topic of spiritual enlightenment as well, because is a twin flame real? Well, define real. Simple question, not such a simple answer though, because if I'm going to come pick up this rock over here and I'm going to ask you, is this rock real? You would be very tempted to say yes, most of you. But is it? It depends on how you define real. Is any of this real? Oh my God. Because, if you're interested in this type of video or in this type of thing, it's because you wrestle with these kind of questions, right? Because everything, reality, is itself, through itself, creating itself, for itself, in this infinite waterfall. But is it real? Well, it's an arrow. It's an arrow pointing at something, at a phenomenon that is very real. Like the rock, right? I can point at this coffee mug and point at it and say this is real. Although I am coming into this video with the assumption of the viewership of this video not being stuck in a paradigm of a materialist reality. Big ask, I understand, but that's where this content is at. Because if you are not stuck in a materialist paradigm, then we're talking about stuff right now that is energetic and that is beyond the 3D, beyond physical reality. We're talking about something like twin flame. We're talking about a phenomenon, a force, a pattern that happens in the universe, and what purpose might it serve? So, in essence, for those who would argue it's not real, um, that's okay, because reality is a paradox. I could argue for the fact that there is no such thing as a twin flame, because I could sit here and argue with you how there's no such thing as anything. And but that doesn't really help us get deeper into the topic today, right? So let's talk about how it is real. What is a twin flame then, if it is real? Huh, man, if it's one of those things where if you know, and if you clicked on this video, maybe you felt it. It's a connection, huh, but it's more than a connection. It's like a catalyst, right? It's a mirror of yourself and another person, and this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity person that you know uh when you collide, mystical things happen. Not just mystical, but synchronicities. Your awareness skyrockets. Your your self-deceptions start coming up to the front. All your trauma, all your worries, your fears, your anxieties, but also all your best attributes come out too. Your zest for life, your love, your passion. Literally everything and anything is pulled up by this connection. And it serves this purpose because, reality, the deepest truth, one of the deepest truths, because there is no deepest truth, but one of the very deep truths is oneness. So if everything is one, if everything is God, how can there be a twin flame? That's feeding into the illusion. Okay, yes. But me to be here as a separate human being, as Mars Hendrick, here before you, is me feeding into the illusion already. So there is no not feeding into the illusion of separation. That's why we have incarnated here into this reality, right? But your twin flame comes to really, like, just again, a catalyst to bring all of this to the surface. And that's what differentiates it from a soulmate or a karmic connection. And I don't want to go too far in depth in this video with what a karmic connection is and what a soulmate is. And I'll make other videos on those, um, because they do all intersect, right? It is important to understand what a soulmate is and what a karmic connection is to understand what a twin flame is and the purpose that it serves. Because really, there is intention behind the twin flame coming from Source, from the Creator. Why would Source create this, you might ask? Well, we've already expressed it as a catalyst for you to find yourself, for you to ask questions about reality, about yourself, about your spirit, about God, about reality. Is this real? But see, the twin flame will pull emotions and thoughts out of you so profound, so deep, that you have no choice but to confront yourself and it, right? They're a mirror of you, and in a lot of ways, they show you the different ways in which you run from yourself. They also show you how do you feel about reality as a whole. As a whole, right? Because if you are on the twin flame journey and you feel like you've met your twin flame, however you feel about them, however you relate to them, whatever you think about them is a reflection of what you think about yourself and what you think about reality at large. And depending on how far you are in the journey, that might not make perfect sense yet. At first, it can just feel like overwhelming passion and love, and like color just comes back into your life, right? But and it can be romantic in that way. But see, the twin flame connection is more than just romantic. Yes, it is romantic. Don't get me wrong. But it's a lot more than that, because with your twin, you're experiencing a very divine love, of which it can be a little confusing, because you can look at your twin and they can feel like you can feel all the different kinds of love for them. You can feel the kind of love that's like a brotherly, sisterly love. You could feel like they're your best friend. You could feel like they're your child, or they're your parent, or they're whatever it is, right? Because really it's a mirror to yourself, right? So in a lot of ways, connecting with your twin flame feels like coming back home to yourself. Feels like, you know, reaching a place that is beyond physical reality. And that's really what defines it, right? Because anything else, you know, I said I wasn't going to go too far into these other types of relationships, and I won't go too in depth, but in something like, a soulmate, yeah, there's a nice ease. You might even feel like, oh man, yeah, we've spent lifetimes together, or like this just feels good and easy, and that's okay. But see how that's not the same energy, or a karmic connection is here to teach you something, right? Is here to engrave a lesson in you, to help grow you in some way, or to show you some kind of shadow. But those aren't eternal connections like the twin flame connection is. Um, and again, this whole notion of twin flame brings up so many paradox. Because because the whole notion of oneness, once again, if there's only one, how can there be a twin? And I've noticed that a lot of people who are conscious of a twin flame dynamic is because they are very attuned and awake to their own consciousness, to their own immortality, to their own infinitude, right? So this can like really throw you off, because you're feeling formless, you're feeling like, infinity, like everything is one, you are everything and everything is you. But this comes up and it's like, oh my god, I'm delusional all over again. But it's a choice, right? And it depends on where you are looking at it. From what perspective are you approaching your twin flame connection? Are you coming at it from an egoic perception, or from your higher self? Because, you know, at the highest level, you chose this. Whatever it is, you made it this way very deliberately, very on purpose. But from your ego's perspective, it's not going to make any sense. And the intensity, the push and the pull, or the, because of the intensity, it's hard to hold on to sometimes. And it feels like you might wonder why. What is the purpose of this? But it is all for growth, because, a lot of people get it stuck in their head that the purpose of it is for like comfort, like a soulmate, or just for like a lesson, like a karmic connection. And they just want to move through it, get past it, get to the other side. But it doesn't work like that. it just keeps going and going and going. Um, it's a beautiful thing. But I make this video because, you know, when I got into realizing this, it's so funny because years ago, I would have laughed at something like this. Like seriously. Um but this is something that you can't believe. If you haven't experienced this, then you you won't believe it. You can't really believe this kind of stuff. A few of you out there will resonate with this because you've experienced this. You've had the direct experience of this. And I make this video so that you at home, you don't have to feel crazy. Because a lot of times the twin flames, they incarnate as a runner and a chaser. A lot of times one twin is a lot more conscious and aware of what the dynamic is before the other one is. And that's cool. That's on purpose. But I know how it can feel to be on that side and not have any of your friends or family or people around you be able to resonate with that or understand what is going on. So I felt I felt compelled to make this video because I'm sure there's certain of you guys out there who are just feeling crazy because of this whole thing. And I just want you to feel a little less alone in this journey and know that it's all good. And the most important thing you can do is let go of the outcome, because in some ways, twin flame separation is an illusion within the illusion, right? Because the whole thing, is it real or not? If everything is one, then you two are always together, right? And there's so many degrees of reality, right? You have absolute oneness and infinity in the purest form, and then you have all these separate forms in this reality, and I'm sure there's an infinitude in between. And somewhere in between, where there is still two of you on an energetic level in the 5D, as some people I've heard call it, you're already connected. You're already together. That's why sometimes you can feel your twin. You can feel their emotions. You can feel their thoughts. Sometimes they can send you telepathic or energetic messages and you can send them back. It's a very powerful thing. And yeah, I'm very happy to share this with you guys. And I'm wishing you well on your journey, wishing well for you and for your twin and for twin flames all around the world. I feel like there is going to be an awakening of this stuff. And like everything else, as it starts to come up, there's going to be a lot of people confusing it and misusing it and like creating more confusion around it. On this journey, I do want to say this before I wrap up. You got to trust yourself. There's so much information out there, and there's all these different coaches and people trying to help you or tell you that it works this way or that way, or how to get your twin, or how to end separation, or etc., or to let them go, or to never let them go, or whatever it is. So much conflicting information. This whole journey is meant to teach you to trust yourself, right? So really, what I'm here to tell you is I'm here to validate your experience for you. I'm not here to tell you how it works, why it works. Maybe you clicked on this video to see, is there such thing as a twin flame? And I'm telling you, yes, there is, and no, there isn't at the same time, because that's how reality is. I exist and I don't at the same time, and that's how I am. And that's the only way I can be. And that's the way things are. And, I hope that your twin flame shoots you deeper and deeper into your consciousness. And I hope you find harmony with them and know that as you do the healing within yourself, that healing will be mirrored back to you through them. So, focus on yourself. You're not crazy. I love you. You are seen. You are heard. I hope this video helped you in some way. Please like and subscribe. I am very honored and blessed and grateful to share these messages with you. And until next time, my friends, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed, and stay connected. Peace out, friends.